What is the worst thing you've ever done, and can you be loved in spite of it? This is the central animating question of A24's new movie, The Drama, starring Robert Pattinson and Zendaya as Charlie and Emma, an engaged couple that's coming up on their wedding. And this is a very well constructed provocation, I think. I think it's shot very well. I love the zoom shots that they did. It kind of creates this kind of claustrophobic effect. I love the score as well and the needle drop, the song choices used as well. The main problem I have with the movie is I don't believe Emma Zendaya's character was ever even considering doing it. I'm going to use the word it. I'm going to say incident instead of what she actually did, just because I'm not sure what TikTok is going to consider dangerous or anything like that. So I'm just going to use the word it. The reason I think it didn't quite work all the way is the flashbacks. This allows us as the audience, the flashbacks, not the actual characters in the movie. So not Charlie as, Robert Pattinson as Charlie or Rachel, Alana Haim's character, to see how it was more of an aesthetic thing for Zendaya's character, right? Um, at no point in the flashbacks when they show the incident do I believe she was even considering doing it. And this is important. Not that she actually did it, but that she was even considering doing it, that she even thought about it in any detail. The reason being is that even when, she's recording, so Zendaya's character, Emma, is recording her manifesto like on the internet, right? And actually recording it, it's played for laughs, right? So she records and then the operating system is like broken down and it's like, oh, it's very much more an aesthetic thing. And I think this is emphasized again with the kind of book that Charlie receives, which has these pictures of these girls holding up, pew pews, we shall say. So I think it's much more of an aesthetic thing. And because we as the audience have that background in a way that the characters don't, we, I think, take Emma's side. We don't ever take it to the extent that, for example, Rachel takes it, because Rachel doesn't know the Emma that we see in the teenage flashbacks. Because when the other incident, so the other mass happens, it doesn't even look like Emma was going to take it out of the bag. We never see Emma actually do anything, and I think we don't even see Emma considering doing it to any real extent. Like, for example, if she had maybe injured a classmate, that would be a different conversation, and I think would have been actually more provocative. I think weirdly, what I want to say is that this movie wasn't provocative enough, and so I want to compare this to a show like Successions. One of the reasons I think Succession is such a great show is the lack of flashbacks. And it allows us as the audience this time, right, in Succession, to sit in the uncertainty of what actually happened. So, for example, with Logan, who's like one of my favorite characters in Succession, we don't actually know what happened with his uncle, for example, and why he has those stripes on his back. Like, we can guess and we get that inference, right, from the clues we're given, but we don't actually know in any detail what actually happened to these characters prior to what we're being shown. And this allows us to kind of sit in the moral gray area more. And I think in this movie, we're instinctively, I think after a while, on Emma's side. At first you were like, oh, this is really bad, but I think we're actually on Emma's side by the end of it. And I think that's the thing. That provocation, weirdly enough, is not enough for me. Actually, I also want to compare this to another movie, which is May December by Todd Haynes. And that movie did this a lot better because, again, it didn't actually show us the flashbacks of what happened between Charles Melton's character and the teacher. Oh my God, I'm blanking on the name, but she's a really great actress. And so, because of that, Charles Melton gets to actually act and show us what actually happened through his acting and his facial expressions and his body language, right? He's very hunched over. And we don't get that with Zendaya's character. So we don't actually get enough time spent with Zendaya's current character because there's a huge chunk of the story that's Zendaya's past character. And so by the time we end the story, we feel like everything's been blown out of proportion, which is weird to say for such a serious incident. But It's because we don't actually think she's even considering doing it. At least that's my interpretation of it. So, yeah, that's my review of the drama.